Like we're live. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat right off the get-go. Okay. I'm gonna wait, see if a couple more people will jump on here. Maybe we'll get going pretty soon. Oh, I like that. I just realized I've got that feature on the mobile too. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out YouTube Live via mobile versus YouTube Live on the computer, and I'm figuring it out. But then by the time I get it figured out, they'll probably change it. All right. All right. Well, I think I'll go ahead and start in with my little intro of the video today. For those of you watching, and for the first time, I'm Dr. Michael Hyland. I'm a physical therapist by trade, Parkinson's educator by passion, of course, our practice specializes in Parkinson's care. But for YouTube and for podcasting and all that, this is the world I live in for teaching you all about Parkinson's disease as much as possible, empowering you to reach your true potential in living with Parkinson's. Today on this video, which is What's Next Wednesday, typically 1 or 2 times a month, try to do these videos just to give a little update on what's going on with channel content, with future videos and so forth. I also thought we'd do something a little bit fun this time for Parkinson's Awareness Month. And it's really a special time to teach people about the disease and to, of course, bring on that awareness to the forefront of people's minds. I thought I would start with a poll that we do live here on the video that would encourage some audience participation. I think that'd be kind of fun. So I asked a question in the community section on a poll just a few days ago, I guess it was Monday, about the same exact question. I'm going to put on the poll right now. And it's going to be this question, and the question will also be on the poll itself. So I'll go ahead and read it out loud, and then I will put the poll up live for you to see it. But this is kind of a hint of content that's coming on the channel this coming weekend with the newest video. So I wanted to make sure to do this quiz to kind of prepare you for that. So the question is, what abnormal protein aggregates are often found in the brain and nerve tissues of persons with Parkinson's disease? So I'm going to launch that poll so you can see it on the screen, and you should be able to see it in the live chat feature or pop up on the screen there. So I'm going to start the poll. It should come up in a second. Yep, I see it down there. So I'm going to give those of you joining live a chance to answer those, and we'll go from there. I'll give you a second to do that. Don't leave me hanging. I want some answers. I'm gonna need to put the Jeopardy music on. Do, 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 do. You don't want to hear me do that. So there's just some, obviously there's at least one throwaway answer here to give you a hint. But the other 3 are actual proteins. Just not all of them are associated with PD. So I'll give you a second to answer that. Looks like someone just gave one answer. And let's see. Give you a second to answer some more. For some reason I can't see the whole thing on my screen on my computer anymore. Oh, here we go. It's expanded now. Okay. We got 1 vote so far. Come on, let's get some more votes on this question. I know that there's some of you out there that know this. I want to make sure that y'all know about this. If you don't know, there's no shame in that because not everybody has heard of this topic. Some of you may have heard of these other proteins, but didn't really remember what they were associated with and so forth. So they may be in your memory bank, but they may not be the right answer for this question. So we got 1 vote. Let's get a few more. hopefully. There's at least a few of you watching live. Okay. If you can't see it, let me know in the live chat, but should be right up on your screen or at the very bottom of your screen. You just tap on that and it should pop up with the question and the answers. Okay, well, I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Last chance. And then we'll end the poll and I'll talk about it. And I could also put in a little bit of an explanation too about some of these other proteins and why they're not the right answer. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End poll. Okay. So we had one vote for alpha-synuclein. And you're the lucky winner. There's no prize, but you're the winner. That is the correct answer. Alpha-synuclein is the abnormal protein that's associated with Parkinson's. The others that I listed here are definitely proteins you will find in other neurological conditions, but not Parkinson's typically, unless you have another condition on top of it. So beta amyloid is typically the tangles or protein aggregates that you'll see with Alzheimer's disease. And tau protein is associated with a couple of different disorders called tauopathies generally, but tau is associated with frontotemporal dementia as well as multiple system atrophy. So there's some connections there with those. But anyway, collagen I felt like I thought was a throwaway answer because that really just affects your connective tissues. But anyway, that was fun, I thought. I would have liked to have a little more participation, but that's okay. That's okay. I know some of you, if you were in a classroom, you probably wouldn't have raised your hand. That's okay. I'm here to teach. So that leads us right into the topic of the new video that's coming out this Saturday. You may have even seen that premiere scheduled, but it's going to be talking about alpha-synuclein and its role in Parkinson's and kind of the cellular level of how alpha-synuclein even plays a role in the disease process, where it comes from essentially, and why it's a problem. So it's going to be an interesting video, I hope, for those of you watching it this weekend. And I do think it's going to be very educational. I tried to keep it relatively low key in terms of, I don't want it to use this huge amount of scientific jargon and all that stuff and overwhelm people. I do use some scientific terms and terminology and principles, but I tried to do like step by step and kind of lay everything out. If you hear crying in the background, it's like my 21-month-old downstairs. My mother-in-law's taking care of it, so okay, it's all right. But nobody's dying, in other words. But anyway, that's what the video is about, and I really hope that it will kind of open people's eyes up to kind of the deeper processes, because I think on the surface, yeah, we've heard some things about alpha-synuclein and where it's involved in Parkinson's. It's found in the brain, and that's what develops into Lewy bodies, and it's found in other nerve tissues, but like the vagus nerve, for example. but really, where does it come from, and why does it result in the disease process that we know of as Parkinson's disease, or why does it play a big role? So I hope that's going to be interesting. Finally, not finally, I guess the brief announcement I wanted to make on this video is that the class that we were going to host, or are hosting, I should say, later this month, the Parkinson's 101 class, that's essentially going to be a step-by-step kind of educational process going through Parkinson's and various things about the disease, whether it's the disease process or movement symptoms, non-movement symptoms, breathing problems, you name it. We're going to try to go through as many of those as possible in a year. That first class we're offering as basically a way to try the class out, and it's a completely free class at this point. So that window is closed for registering now, unfortunately, for those of you who haven't registered yet. But It will be opening up again in the future, but I really wanted this first cohort of people going through the class to really test it out so that I really know that we're delivering a product that people really want and like, and that it's valuable. So the first 25 people that registered were for free to be able to basically test it out for us and to really show the value of it. So that's closed, but we will be opening up the class again in the near future. So I'll let you know when that comes. So essentially, it'll just be like a conversation, a little bit of a presentation, but more of a back and forth conversation as possible with the classes we're going to do versus just a one-off video where I'm talking to the screen and you're watching. And finally, the last topic I want to bring up is the future video that we're going to do that's going to come after the one this weekend. So it's going to piggyback on the topic of alpha-synuclein, cellular metabolism, and processes that kind of result in the Parkinson's symptoms and disease process. But I also want to take that a step further and talk about how we could potentially improve that with improving the cellular metabolism. So that's a big term. What I'm saying is the health of our cells depends on the food that we eat, the activities that we do. And with Parkinson's disease, with a lot of, I shouldn't say just Parkinson's, there's a lot of diseases, especially psychological and neurological diseases that are really impacted by metabolism. So changing the way you eat and what food you eat can actually impact your cellular health. Now, how extreme that goes is really up to the individual. So I'm not suggesting one thing or the other in terms of food, but I want to talk about that in a future video the next month or so, or I guess it'd be about 2 weeks from Saturday. I want to talk about that in the next video because in this first video, we're kind of talking about the nitty-gritty cellular processes that are important. But then in the next video, I want to talk about what can we do to make that better. So what can we do to hopefully, to a certain extent, heal those sick cells or prevent breakdown of or sickness and issues with the future cells that are not affected by Parkinson's disease yet. So there's no guarantees with any of this, but obviously doing the same thing you've always been doing isn't necessarily going to do any good. So thinking about new ideas and lifestyle changes that could potentially help. And that could include supplements as well. I know I've had a lot of people express interest in learning about different supplements with Parkinson's. And I would say that's probably a good opportunity to at least include that topic on the surface in the next video. As to what, let me know if you're interested in me going deeper into different supplements. Like, for example, one video we could do on glutathione, maybe one video on B1, some of that. Just let me know if you have interest in that. I'll do that for sure. I'd be happy to do that. And as a matter of fact, I'd love to get Daphne Bryan, Dr. Bryan, on the channel, either for short clips or for an interview to talk about B1 therapy, because she's one of the leading experts in it right now in terms of using it to treat her own Parkinson's. And she uses the method prescribed by Dr. Constantini. May he rest in peace. He passed away during COVID. Anyway, that's what's coming in the next video. That's what's coming down the line. And if you missed out on the poll, that's okay. Didn't need to do that part. But I do hope that you will come for the premiere of the new video this weekend, 8 o'clock Central Time USA, Saturday morning, April the 6th. Look forward to seeing you there. And thanks for being here live today for What's Next Wednesday. Signing off for today. Looking forward to seeing you in the future. As always, be empowered.